and I got it. And then those guys came along, and it went south fast. Like my mom.
Mom just went, well,
Yeah.
give a damn is officially busted.
Well, yeah, like we did. I mean, we got away with doing some really messed up things, like painting my brother to the floor one time. My mom went to bingo, and everyone else, my stepdad at the time fell asleep. Right, my mom's at bingo, stepdad falls asleep, and somehow I still can't tell you how I did this, but I opened a can of paint, like a brand new can of paint, never been opened with a fork. So at some point I had some ingenuity. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Ingenuity. Yeah, ingenuity. It has some drive. There you go.
You had some MacGyver in you.
So I opened this can and we not only we like go through the whole house. So we paint my stepdad's feet black because he's passed out, doesn't wake up the whole time, which I do think is priceless.
Listen, bros, I'm gonna wake up if somebody's painting my feet.
He did. I'll tell you, this dude did not. I mean, this is just kind of. I think it's like just more evidence of what a terrible parent he was. Really.
Well, I think he might have been hanging out with Prince Valium.
Maybe, or honestly, so he. I mean, let's be honest. He was getting high a lot in those days, so he could have just been effed in general. But I absolutely we painted his feet. We had this brand new TV that we painted the screen black on, so they thought the TV was broke at first. And then the youngest boy, Billy, my little half brother Billy, we painted him to the floor. Like he always got the worst of it. One time we held him down and sprayed him in the eyes with hairspray, and he now like to this day has to wear special glasses because his eye is all messed up from us doing that. Like we were really bad people.
Like
sounds like it.
You maimed a human being.
But he was my half sibling, so I feel like it's okay on some level.
Hey man, whatever you gotta tell yourself.
So I do want to know, what is it, since you left us last week, and I was all excited to have you on because I was like, Hard Knocks, got to talk about this.
Fuck Hard Knocks.
And then you didn't even like, this is I cried. I don't know if you listened to the show when I was crying or not over this. But you totally just ghosted us like an ex-girlfriend or something.
Well, first of all, I did listen to the show. I listened to it on the Apple, the iTunes podcast, whatever. And you didn't cry. You kept rolling the fucking bus over me. That's what you kept doing.
Okay. Okay, that sounds a little bit more like me.
Oh, does it sound like I listened to the episode? Did the title give anything away?
Yeah, I'm about to say, I was like, now that I think about it, you did title it really bad, too.
Like,
Gary hates us.
Yeah, Gary hates fat people, I think is what I said.
It is what you said.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I came strong. I've had but yes, why are you so against this Hard Knocks thing? I don't understand it.
All right. It's actually a weak angle. I understand how weak it is, but it's a weak angle. I'm actually thinking about Josh Gordon, and that dude is probably one of the shyest superstars in the NFL right now.
Okay.
And I just don't want any level of stardom setting him off.
The cameras are me. I'm going to go get high or drunk right now?
Well, no, not necessarily that right away, but you know, all of a sudden he starts getting endorsement deals and the wrong kind of people want to start hanging out with him again. And he gets weak and he starts doing stupid shit. And now arguably as far as physical talents are concerned, arguably one of the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL is off the fucking field again.
So that's not a completely unfair.
That's the
concern.
Only reason. Otherwise, listen, I'm tuning in every week. I'm watching it.
Yeah, no, we're like literally 2 months away. I can't wait. All right, July, August. Yeah. I'm super pumped. But yeah, so that's not an unfair concern. No, I did not rearrange my stuff, honey. What does she mean? Did I rearrange my stuff? Sorry, Facebook. Kim's watching us on Facebook and working, bringing home the bacon for the family. I really appreciate that. I did not rearrange my stuff though, so I don't
Was
know.
Kim doing the Dolly Parton?
The Dolly Parton.
A little 9 to 5.
Oh no! See, I'm not smart like that. You throw that kind of stuff out, and I'm gonna miss it every time. It's gonna go right by me, like, oh shit. No, she's working like that midday. She does have the worst shift right now. She's in training. She'll be working overnights, but right now she's got like the worst shift anyone could have, and it's at 2 to 10, aka like that 2 to no life.
Oh yeah.
I hate that shift. Like, if you
Terrible.
have no choice, do what you got to do to feed your family. But thankfully, like, I way prefer her being on nights, even though I think hopefully at some point she gets on like a regular day shift, because I think that'll be better for her. But I think being on even nights is way better than that 2 to 10,
Oh, absolutely.
because that 2 to 10 is just terrible. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, back to Hard Knocks. No, I'm excited, and honestly, I can't stop. Like, there's this thing, if you haven't heard it yet, Gary. I almost called you Kevin because I'm looking at Kevin right now in his Vegas hat. Wait, okay, I'm gonna get to that hat in a second. I just noticed what it said. No, but there's this thing called Building the Team or Building the Browns on Facebook. It might actually be on YouTube, but I found it on Facebook. It's like 4 episodes.
It's like a docuseries.
Yeah,
I've heard of it. I just haven't seen it
it's
yet.
like 20 minutes. It'll take you an hour to watch all 4, probably hour and a half. I recommend it. It's kind of cool if you're a Browns fan, a little inside look. But I'm getting pumped with all this hype. And then I keep seeing on Twitter Landry making all these ridiculous catches from Tyrod, and I'm just getting all kinds of pumped for Hard Knocks. Is going to be even more in depth. See, I can't wait.
I do think Hard Knocks is going to show us that Baker was the right choice at 1. I think it's going to show that he is the future of the franchise, but it's also going to show that Tyrod Taylor should be the starting quarterback. And I think that's going to shut up a lot of this quarterback controversy bullshit that the press is trying to force down everybody's throats.
Is there really a controversy? Like, I think it's
no, the media wants there to be, so they're just trying to push their agenda. Like, they keep asking Hugh and keep asking Hugh.
Yeah, so that's fair. I think you're right. I think it is. I don't think it's an actually in-house thing or even a fan base. I think for the first time, and maybe Kevin, because you're an outsider, you could attest or not to this, but I think even like the outside, like fans, recognize that Tyrod's the way to go for the whole year, barring some kind of like we've said before, barring Baker coming out and just Dak Prescotting it or the dude up in Seattle,
Russell Wilson.
Pulling a Russell Wilson, something like that. Then you got to do what you got to do. I get that. But I think outside of that, Kevin, let me know if I'm wrong, but most of us think the way to go is Tyrod for the year and let Baker grow and mature.
All of my buddies that I've talked to that are Browns fans, that's how they are. They don't even like, because I'm, like you said, I've been the whole, if he comes out and Taylor's not bad. I mean, Taylor's got to look pretty bad, I think, for even if Mayfield comes out and looks lights out, if Taylor's looking good, I would still stick with Taylor just to give him that experience. But if Taylor's looking bad and then Mayfield's laid out, I would go with them. And most of the people that I talk to that are Browns fans, my buddies at work and stuff, yeah, they're all about Taylor no matter what. They don't even care if Taylor looks bad and Mayfield looks good. Like, they don't want Mayfield on the field the first year. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's just more Cleveland Browns fans being irrational. I mean, the fact of the matter is quite simple. Hugh needs to win more than 4 games this year in order to keep his job. And if after 3 games of the season, Baker's where he needs to be and he's lighting it up in practice, Baker's going to play.
How many?
But he's got to earn it. He's got to earn it.
I'm sorry, I was responding to a Facebook thing. How many games did you say?
I just said Hugh has to win more than 4 to keep his job.
I think it's at least 7 with the roster he has. And I know that's being a huge jump from 0. And I know that it's being a little bit ridiculous. Like, I know that, like, the Matt Browns fan, and I know that I'm completely an overboard Browns fan. So that sounds like that's what's coming out. But realistically,
at least you can admit it.
No, I know that. Like, I know that every year I'm like, this is the flipping year. We're taking these guys all the way. I get it. I get that and everyone's just laughing at me behind my back. Or
listen, I have it in my stomach too, man. It's not. I have with the way this roster's built, I can see it being a possibility. Just the realist in me is like, listen, I want 8 wins. I think it's a failure of a season if we don't get to 8. But I don't know where John Dorsey's at, which is why I threw 4 out. I don't know how much he actually loves Hugh.
And the thing is, I don't even care if you do love Hugh. I think I was all about keeping him this year because I think he had no real talent to work with. Now he's going into next year with a buttload of talent and really like some great possibilities, and guys like Nick Chubb coming in as a rookie. No one knows, he's kind of could be like a home run hitter. But you got like, according to just reception numbers last year, right? Landry, the most receptions last year. We all know what a healthy, inspired Josh Gordon could do. Coleman, if he can get his crap together, like Duke Johnson's always great. Our O-line's decent. Defense should be hungry. Like, there's no reason we shouldn't get 7 wins.
I don't think Coleman makes it through training camp, man. I don't know.
You don't cut him. You got to trade him then. You can't just let
him
go.
You trade. No. He gets traded.
All right. I'm sure we'll get back to this, but this is a little bit off track, and I don't want Eric telling me how terrible my show is anymore today. So, now,
hey, what's the name of his podcast again?
The End Zone Podcast. And I hate that we're now in this, like, ultra, and it's all me. Like, it's mostly me because he has pushed me over the line. And then this week he just kept, I'm pretty sure he was talking some shit behind my back. And yeah, so we're in like this all out war now. And the thing is, like, when I first met Eric, that's why I asked him to be on the show, because I know like he has some talent, like when it comes, but he just doesn't know when to step back and yeah. Anyways,
here's the thing about Eric's talent, right? Eric's talent should be like a Key Grip or a Mike Boy, or eventually work his way up to producer. He's not somebody. Listen, I am not the talent. I'm not calling myself somebody who should be in front of the camera, but Eric is intelligent, and if this is the industry he wants to be in, he needs to be behind the microphone.
Well, I think he's got good sometimes I think he has good sports takes. The problem is he can't take anyone disagreeing with him. He can't have like a civilized debate. And
right.
And when he goes,
so he needs to be the guy in Mike Greenberg's ear telling him the stats. That's who he needs to be.
And when you listen to his show, like, and that's why I listened to his show before I ever asked him to come on. And he was calm for the most part, cool. And he ran this show, and he had Chris, and the first time I think he's lost 2 people, because the first couple times I listened to his show there was 3 people. So I don't think this is the first time he's lost somebody. But it was an interesting show. Like, he had some good takes. I don't think he's ignorant on football. I don't always agree with his takes, but I think he's got some knowledge. He does write a lot of he has published a lot of places. So I respect what he does, but I think honestly, as the bad guy on this show, I thought, and maybe it's going a little bit behind the scenes, but I told him 100 times, I thought he brought something to the show because people hated him. And that's not a bad, like, that's a good thing. Like, I told him that's a great role. But now, like, he's saying things like, I begged him to be on my show. Are you kidding me? Like, oh, yeah, I could go off. I'm sorry. See me shaking right now? I already got a weak heart, guys. I can't get all worked up today. Shout out to Sammy on Facebook and Stephanie and Kim.
Stephanie, thank you for watching.
Yeah, so, yeah. Anyways, what was I? Oh, so Kevin, are you now like changing teams? I want to talk NHL because the Vegas Golden Knights did something pretty incredible, making it to the NHL Stanley Cup as a
expansion franchise.
And then I see Kevin, who is a Pittsburgh fan, as far as I thought.
Yeah, now he's a Pittsburgh fan.
Now he's sporting a Golden Knights hat, which,
hey. For one, Golden Knights are in the other conference, so I don't only have to worry if they met in the Stanley Cup, which was what I was hoping for. But for one, I love Vegas, and so when they got a hockey team, I was happy. And when the Penguins screwed up and let them get Fleury, then I was rooting for them because that's what I wanted. I wanted the big Fleury taking on Pittsburgh in the Stanley Cup. Okay. Don't get me wrong, I'd have rooted for Pittsburgh to win over, but it would have been one of those. I'd have been happy either way, just a little upset if the Penguins would have lost. But now I don't have to worry about them beating the Penguins, and it's full go. I'd love to see them get a cup.
Plus, there's a little Ovechkin-Crosby rivalry, so now you get to relive that through the Knights.
Yeah, I don't want Ovechkin to get a cup. So I would love him to sit there, finally make it, and then lose to an expansion team, and Fleury be like, "I used to fuck you up in Pittsburgh, and I'm fucking you up in Vegas." I'm pumped. I'm all into the series.
Here's the thing. I'm torn because I know we talked about this. I think it was one of the last times we had, maybe one of the times we had Eric on, and I asked, is having an expansion team do this well a good thing? And I think you guys all thought it was good. But
I think it's awesome.
I don't know that
it's a great thing.
But here's my thing. I guess the only argument I can make is, couldn't you argue that they are the league's too watered down, and that's why they were able to make it that far? Because they've overexpanded. And I'm not just saying with Vegas, but maybe even before. But they've overexpanded, and I believe they have another team coming in soon.
Well, they're debating. Seattle's trying to get one because they want another team.
I thought they had one.
Like really pushing.
Yeah, I thought Seattle was like legit starting next year.
No.
Oh, see, I thought they were. But yeah.
As far as I know, no. I know it's in the works. I know they're talking. I think they're supposed to vote on it. It's in the next year or two. I think maybe this year they're supposed to vote on it. But Seattle looks like they're the front runner to get a new team.
So with that being said, I guess that's my only argument is this saying that your league's too watered down?
I don't think it is because, for one, I mean, it just shows that he went out, the owner of the Vegas, he went out, he got a good coach put in place. He got a heck of a president put in place because they still, just like the others, like football and stuff, you got to have a salary cap. So, yeah, you get to go, and each team is only able to lock so many players that you can't touch. So, I mean, you can still go through, and you're going to have to, you get to pick, at least for Vegas, they had it where you went through, you picked one player off of each team. Some of them worked out deals where they knew they wanted a certain guy, but they didn't want to lose him. They just couldn't block it. So they would be like, well, we'll trade you an extra guy or an extra pick if you take anybody but this guy. Because that's what happened with the Penguins, because they didn't want to trade Fleury, but they worked out a trade so Vegas would take Fleury, because if they lost Fleury that way, it wouldn't look as bad on the Penguins as them just trading him, because everyone loved Fleury. And so you got to go through, and I mean, you still got to follow the salary cap. After that, you still got to go through the draft, sign free agents. So, I mean, you actually got to work, and, it's not just you pick whoever you want and you can make this all-star team. You still got to follow all the guidelines. So, I mean, in my opinion, it just shows smart GMing and, the president and the coach working together to build and fill out that team of people that, hit all your requirements. And I mean, they got lucky too, because you have to gel together. It's just like, like the Cavs when they traded everybody. I mean, you got it. It takes time to gel, but they just seemed like they hit the ice and they just took off running.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, and it could be the case. I do have to give Eric credit. He has followed us on Facebook. He did say that Seattle is confirmed, but not sure if they start next year. So Seattle will have a team. He did some Google research, I'm guessing. I reached out because I seen him following us on Facebook, and he does follow his stuff. So looks like Seattle does have a team. Yeah, I don't know, and we'll see. I guess we'll see. I'm telling you that for somebody who's not a hockey fan, doesn't watch any hockey at all. I've literally watched 10 minutes of the. It was interesting because I was interested to see this expansion team if they were really good. So I did watch some of the games. So from that aspect, they got an extra viewer for 10 minutes. So, and I'm sure there was more than just me doing that.
I don't know if you watch hockey at all or anything, but the next time they play in Vegas will be Game 5. So Saturday, I think Thursday next week, they'll be back in Vegas for Game 5. The games will start at 8 o'clock. You got to turn it on just for the beginning, because
yeah, I heard there's a pretty big spectacle.
Oh yeah, Vegas goes Vegas before the
hockey game. So Matt, I could see why it would look like the league looks watered down. But I agree with Kevin. I think it shows more of a general manager busting his ass to put together a pretty solid roster, and a head coach that was able to get them to play together quickly. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but that's just how I see it. The other thing that I think this tells you is actually, I think the same effect you're going to see in the NFL is that there's this allure, there's this draw to Vegas. Like every single one of these guys, no matter where they were in the United States, when they found out they were going to Vegas, I guarantee literally every one of them was like, all right, let's do this. And not just from the party aspect, just, I mean, I was in Utah for a long time. The climate there is almost basically the same thing. That's a beautiful part of the country to live in.
Yeah.
There's parts of the city that aren't about drinking and gambling. It's a good city if you have good intentions. And I think the NFL is actually going to have this, or the Vegas is going to have the same effect on the NFL. You're going to see some of these free agents that actually want to play for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. I do agree. I did watch. No, I think those are all really good points. And I think you're right. I think it is going to be a destination place. And not only that,
I do think the NHL is watered down, but I don't think that's a cause for why they're in the playoffs.
I think no, and it maybe not be. I'd be interesting when the Seattle team comes in, how they do their first year, and on that, because I don't think you're going to. If they do the same thing, at least make a run, then I think my argument holds a little bit more water, because doing it twice is kind of once is an anomaly in my opinion. Like Kevin, like you said, you've just happened to get the right pieces in the right spot. But I think to do it twice, my argument maybe holds a little water. So I guess we'll have to wait and see how that rolls. But
we'll have to see how Vegas does next year too, right? If they go deep in the playoffs, then
Yeah,
sure. But here's the thing where that gets weird, right? Because you got. Well, what is their roster going to look like? Because I imagine they have free agents. Are they going to be able to sign them? There's a lure there, right? Because it's a good. From what I hear, it's a good place for taxes and stuff like that. So it's not a bad place to live. So maybe a lot of those guys will want to stay. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I am excited about the Raiders going, especially because I did watch that Golden Knights game 1 opening, the opening the show.
Spectacle.
It was ridiculously phenomenal. Very impressive.
You see the first or the second game? Because the first game, Michael Buffer came out.
Oh, yeah.
That one?
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty cool. The second one, Imagine Dragons came out and performed on the ice.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They brought everybody out.
And that's how it should be. That's why it's going to be great for the Raiders. And the Raiders are going to, that stadium is going to be filled even if the Raiders suck for a long time, because
it's true.
Not that I think they will, but here's the deal. If the Browns are playing the Raiders in Las Vegas, guess where I'm going to be, right? And you can say that for just about anyone in states like Utah or these, those surrounding states where it's, 5-6 hour drive and you're in Vegas. Guess where? If I'm a big football fan and my team's playing in Vegas, that place is going to draw all kinds of people. Or if you're just in town and you've never been to a football – I know people who've never been to football games.
Yeah.
And they just want to go to a football
game. Tourists are going to make that stadium sell out every game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the NFL is going to be – I think the NHL is proving it. The NFL is just going to I wouldn't be surprised if they have an NBA team in the next 5 to 10 years. I just think that Vegas has proven that, yes, people were afraid with all the gambling and things like that, that they can do good business. They can fill arenas because it's easy, because they have a shit ton of people there that even if you're having a slow night in ticket sales, you can, as hotels, you can make them deals to have the hotels give tickets away. They buy the tickets for a reduced price and they give them to people. It's not going to be a problem filling these venues, I don't think.
No, not at all.
And honestly, if you have an NBA team, pretty much they could play in the same arena as the hockey team. So
yeah,
I'm not going to be surprised if they have a full slate. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that new league starting next year has a team there. I heard San Diego's the next city. They got 2 more cities to name. I wouldn't be surprised if Vegas is one of those cities and then another East Coast city. But the big thing I want to talk about today is I'm been watching ESPN all day, and in between running around and studying and doing everything else. I know that I'm a homer, guys. I get that I'm a homer when it comes to LeBron James, because I go where LeBron goes, and the Cleveland Browns. I am a homer.
Just pause for the cause real quick.
Yep.
How many viewers do we have on Facebook right now?
Not many, 2 or 1. We've dropped.
All right. Well,
You need to shave your
for
beard.
any of you that decide that you're going to listen to this podcast later, or any of you that are listening to it on Twitter or Facebook, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player in the league right now, and I don't give a shit what you say. He's the greatest basketball player of all time.
Yeah, I've been saying that
Carry
for
on,
a
man.
while. No, I totally agree. Been saying it for a while. But you talk about a couple things I wanted to talk about with this game. I'm gonna probably be the bad guy and actually say I think that foul was legit, like he was blocking. But let's get beyond that because they shouldn't have looked at it because all they should have looked at was if he was in the restricted zone, which by the way,
that's bullshit. They should not have looked at
he
that
wasn't in the restricted zone. Okay, so let's get past that. This guy scores 51 points, one of only 6 guys to do it in the history of the league, and he's the only one to lose because of J.R. Smith. Like I've heard people in Golden State feeling bad for LeBron because he got dicked over so bad by his team this week.
So first, I blame George Hill
For not making the shot?
He's an 80% free throw shooter. Make the shot.
Yeah.
Second, it is okay. So it's 90% JR, 10% George Hill. J.R. Smith.
95%
What
JR.
the hell are you doing? You are a professional basketball player in the NBA playing in the game 1 of the finals, and you don't know what the score is?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And this is his 4th final.
You know what? I don't care if he thought we were even ahead, right? You're so close to the hoop. Put the shot up anyway because you still have 3 to 2.5 seconds to defend the court anyway.
Yeah. No, this is one
of the worst things I've ever seen in sports.
Like how it works. I can't begin to wrap my head around. Why do you not at least call timeout if you're J.R. Smith? If you don't want to shoot it, I get it. He thought they were in the. I just did this to me, and I think I might have texted this out, or I think it was something I sent to you guys today. But J.R. Smith to me, and I hate saying this as somebody from Ohio, but I think he just sealed the deal on LeBron James not being in Cleveland next year because this guy scored literally almost half of the points for his team, which is, by the way, to have to do that is a joke. Half the points and dedicates himself every flipping game, and the people around him are just junk. And if you got some guy like J.R. Smith who isn't doing his job and like you said, is a pro player and doesn't know what the score is or the time situation this late in the game, I mean, come on, Kevin, you got to tell me I'm right here. Like, there's no way.
I agree. I mean, I don't fully agree with the whole. I think that seals the deal for him to leave. Like,
he's back.
I think he already has his mind made up whether he's going or leaving. If he's staying, I think that last night's game made up his mind that J.R. Smith is going.
Oh, J.R. Smith is gone after this
because,
season.
Well, I mean, if LeBron leaves, you're going to keep J.R. If LeBron doesn't leave, then JR is
well,
gone.
they have to unload JR because of his contract's ridiculous.
Yeah, can't they do like isn't there like a because I know he's under contract, so technically those are guaranteed, but can't you do like there's that one deal where you can get rid of one guy basically and it doesn't count against your cap?
Well, the NBA is also famous for some of those trade and sign type deals, and they can unload money pretty quickly if there's a team willing to do it.
LeBron comes back or not, J.R. Smith can't be on the team next year. He did not even average double-digit points this year. And you're going to want a guy. Like, they're going to try to get a guy. Like, I don't think they're going to get Paul George, but they're going to go after a guy like Paul George because that's what LeBron wants them to do. They're probably going to make calls to San Antonio for a guy like Kawhi Leonard.
I'm about to say, I've heard that rumor about them trying to trade for him. And that's another thing. If you work out a trade for Leonard, LeBron's not going to leave.
Well, no. If LeBron could get a defensive talent who can also put up some points, like Kawhi, to run with him and K-Love, because at that point, K-Love's defensive deficiencies don't hurt as bad.
That's the problem, though. If Kawhi Leonard's there, K-Love isn't.
And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine. If you tell me that I have to get rid of K-Love, who I actually like, I know a lot of people have issues with him. He definitely needs to work a little bit on his defense. But if you can tell me that I have to give out K-Love, but I can bring in the defensive presence of Kawhi Leonard, I'm doing it all day long. Like, I can't say yes to that fast enough.
But I still think you're in the same spot though. Like I don't.
The NBA championships.
I'm not a big Kevin Love fan, but I would rather if they can work it out to keep him and Kawhi Leonard because I mean, if you give up Kevin Love right now, you got LeBron and Kevin Love. So if Kevin Love leaves, then you got LeBron and Kawhi. I mean, you're still stuck with crap around you. I mean,
So
they're not. I wouldn't say crap, but I mean they're not up. Well, yeah, crap because they're not doing shit out there. So I mean,
here's the thing. I'm disappointed in George Hill. Like I don't necessarily know why I expected more, but I definitely expected more. And I don't just mean in the finals. I just mean overall since we got him. Clarkson, I don't know.
that dude is horrible.
I don't know.
If
But,
ESPN makes fun of you, you know you're bad.
dude, Larry Nance Jr. played out of his mind last night. And I think that dude has earned more time on the court. And I think that's somebody that you could build. You could turn Larry Nance Jr. into Kevin Love. You absolutely could.
Yeah, I think he played so good. My point, I think, is because he played so bad in the Boston game. Like, he just wasn't there. And I think he was one of those, I got to make it up, where hopefully J.R. Smith maybe got his ass beat or something. But, I mean, if he comes out on fire in game 2, then you know that he's like, well, I really screwed up. Because, I mean, even his answer, when they asked him, he's like, yeah, I knew it was tied. Well, then why'd you run away? And he's like, well, I thought they'd call timeout. And it's just like, oh, you look like you're so jacked up right now anyways.
Did you see LeBron's face?
Oh, yeah. And they were
He
saying,
couldn't recover. He couldn't recover from that mentally.
Yeah. Nobody could.
as soon as it went overtime, I was like, game's over.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well.
I knew they were all broken. Like, the whole team was broken at that point. And that's
Here-
go ahead.
Here's the other thing as Cleveland fans that we do have to recognize, okay? Whether Andre Iguodala was on the court or not, and whether the Golden State Warriors had a slow start or not, the Cleveland Cavaliers with this suspect roster had a chance to win the game 1 in Golden State.
And that would have been
This
huge.
this series can now go 7 games in my mind.
I don't know. It all depends how they come out after this game. Because, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I was looking at it, going into the series, talking with people at work and a couple other buddies. I was like, Cavs are going to get swept. Or it's going to be 4-1 if they get lucky in Cleveland. Because they always play better for one game in Cleveland. So that's what I was going in. But yesterday, before the game, when I was talking to people, I came to the conclusion, I think if the Cavs would have won yesterday, I think that would have changed the series. I would have agreed. I would have said, I think they could win it in 7.
Yeah.
But with them losing, it depends on the mindset. Because they're either going to come out and it's either going to be like, we had that game, the referee screwed us. Because I think that was a foul. It should have been a foul on Durant. Game's over right there, you would think. Because you're going to have to foul them, foul the Cavs. Because you don't want them to run the clock out. So it's like, if you come in with that mindset, we had the game 1, it's ours, and you play like that, I think the Cavs can win game 2. But if they come out and it's like they take it to the other extreme, you know, where we did get screwed out of that game, we should have won that game, and they're stuck with that and they play bad. Because you know what I mean? It's like they can either go one way or the other with that whole outcome. And it depends how they come out. Because I mean, and then you got to look like they got lucky. Golden State shot horrible for 3-pointers and they kept throwing them up. And even the Cavs went to their 3-point shooting, and that's how Golden State got, took the lead back. Because I mean, they were losing by 11, and next thing you know, like the Cavs are down by 6.
Did Gary just fall?
I dropped the phone. That is podcast gold right there.
Well, for the people watching, it's go. That was awesome. I was like,
That's how you fell off. It's like I didn't think I was saying anything that crazy.
No, you weren't. No, I actually think that the Cavaliers defense deserves to get a little bit better credit up until the last 30 seconds of the fourth quarter.
no. So I'll give them credit.
I think they switched off beautifully.
I think they played really. I think just like Game 7 against Boston, I think they played damn good defense, especially considering that they are the least probably talented team LeBron's been to the championship with, arguably since 2007. And they might even be worse than that team. But here's my problem. You can't expect, and I think this is the issue. I think these guys actually expect LeBron to score the brunt of the points. You can't go in there and go, LeBron, we're going to put up 110 points. I'm throwing a number out, right? We're going to put up 110 points, and I need you to score 55 of them. every game. Because that's what it is. They can't hit a flip. Clarkson's shooting short. I think Nance is playing. To me, Nance should be starting. And here's what I would do. I would pull the cover off Rodney Hood. I know he didn't come off the bench in Boston. You've punished him enough, but he can create his own shot. Whether he can get to go in, that might be a question. But why not find out? Like, you're playing against the Warriors. Go all out, all or nothing.
Dude, you have got to pull all the stops.
Yeah. And so what's it going to hurt to try? Give him a few minutes. And I watched First Take this morning, and Stephen A was like talking about he'd give J.R. Smith maybe 2 minutes and to see if his heart's really into it and then pull him. I would do the same thing and then put in Hood. I think they have to pull out all the stops. I think you can't depend on LeBron. LeBron's going to be LeBron, but you can't go in there as a team with the mindset of LeBron's going to put up 50 every night because they will not stand a chance in this series under that situation.
Yeah. I think this team, like, if they sit there, if what they pull it out and they win those series and whatever games, 6, 7 games, whatever, I think this will be, for one, a bigger win than when they beat Golden State the last time, being down 3-1. But the crazy thing about it, I was talking to a guy at work, and I sat there and I said, because the whole talk, LeBron, is he leaving or staying? I was like, if I was LeBron and I won the championship with this team, I would retire. As soon as they hand me both of the trophies, because he'd get the MVP trophy, I would be like, this team took 20 years out of my basketball life. Yeah. I'm fucking done. Because, he's going to be so exhausted. And, that's going to be the big thing. If they happen to win a game or two and they go, how well is he going to do before he hits that wall? Because he has played so many minutes. Game 7 against Boston, he played the entire game. And it's like, that's going to catch up to him sooner or later.
Does he have
you would think so. But the thing about LeBron that I've learned listening to some of the stories is that dude is tougher than a lot of people give him credit for. Like, I don't know if you guys heard, but, when he got that shot to the eye by Draymond Green, who Draymond Green, if you're listening, fuck you. When he took that shot to the eye, right, LeBron said in the fourth quarter he actually started to lose vision in the eye, and he was still playing lights out. Like, it's insane how tough he is. And I think that I because of the team that he has around him, I don't think you're going to see LeBron be tired until after the series, like however many games it lasts, win or lose.
Yeah, I was going to say, does he have a wall? I feel like he just goes nonstop. Like, he has this just battery that doesn't die until they're out of it. And then he just, like, goes home for 2 weeks and sleeps. Like, I think he is, especially at year 15, is just unreal.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. But speaking of Draymond Green, oh, my gosh.
Did you see him call LeBron James a pussy?
Yes, I did. And the funny thing about that is like, I can't stand Van Gundy. Like, his commentary, sometimes he'll throw in a funny thing. Like, he had a couple of funny comments last night, but for the most part, some of the stuff he says, I'm just like, what the heck?
He hates LeBron.
Oh, yeah. But the one that I really liked was after Draymond poked him in the eye, and then he was arguing with the referee and then got the technical, and they're talking, and Van Gundy's like, why are you arguing that? Your finger is wet from poking him in the eyeball.
If you watch that in slow-mo, man, he did some work on LeBron's eye.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I am tired of seeing Draymond Green turn around and verbally assault every referee that ever gives him a foul. I'm tired of seeing it.
How did he not get a technical for the taunting at the end of the game? Because I was okay with it when he was just doing his little dance as he was walking away from everybody. But when he's like literally staring at LeBron at the line, while they're all kind of standing around and doing it, to me that's like, not that I'm a fan of calling people for taunting in general, because I think it's a stupid rule, but it is a rule. And how does he not get called for taunting there?
Well, did you hear who they said he was taunting? They said he wasn't taunting.
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Kendrick Perkins, they signed him. He has never put on a uniform. He's been wearing a suit the entire time. Why did they sign him?
Sounds like Kendrick Perkins is a genius.
Kendrick Perkins is a LeBron. Okay, I'm going to flip this. LeBron James is a Kendrick Perkins guy. And my understanding is that he was brought on more for LeBron and LeBron's leadership than anything else.
Well, all right, I understand that. But to my next point, if you
Kendrick Perkins is a bad motherfucker.
Exactly. So after the whole Draymond thing, like I'd sit there and be like, we're paying you not just to wear suits and look fucking fat. I would put him in a uniform and be like, piss off Draymond Green.
You got 7 fouls, right? Or 6 fouls.
Yeah, I would be like, go out there and piss him off.
Well, I actually think the reason why he's been wearing a suit is that at some point he got pretty seriously injured. Like he had every intention of playing for the Cavaliers, but I don't know if it was a practice or something like that. He's hurt.
A little bit off topic. Did Tristan Thompson get suspended for the ball to the face?
They're reviewing it, but no.
I don't think.
I'm sorry. They're reviewing Tristan Thompson. They have confirmed they're not suspending Kevin Love.
Yeah, I heard K Love was good.
They said they're still out on the whole Tristan Thompson.
Yeah,
but
whatever. Fine, get him out of there.
Horrible call too. He should have never been thrown out.
Yeah,
that was such a bad call.
I'm just sick of Tristan Thompson's face.
Here's the thing: he shouldn't have got thrown out. But after the fact, what he did, and I hate Draymond, and I hate a lot of the players. I think Steph Curry can shoot the ball like nobody's business, but he is a shitty sport. Like he has no idea of being a good sport. Like he's an asshole. Like I don't know a better way to say it. Like I don't like his attitude. But I think you got to control yourself on this level because we do need him for what he does do well. So it would suck if he got suspended, but I think it's a great opportunity to play Nance for the whole game. Put Nance in.
I love Nance. I just love him.
I think
if you had K-Love, Nance, and LeBron on the court with Green, it doesn't even matter who your fifth is at that point. You can move the ball.
And I think that's another guy who needs to get some love. Jeff Green.
Oh man,
yeah.
As putting it like that's the one other guy on this team. K-Love maybe as well, but I have my issues with him and his defense or lack thereof actually playing any. But Jeff Green, outside of LeBron, might be giving the most heart on the entire team. The guy is he showed up in Game 7 when K-Love was out, played his heart out. I think he scored 19 or 20 points. No one's giving that guy enough credit, in my opinion. I know he's getting credit, but not enough. Like guys like that, I agree with you. That's who I would run with because especially like if LeBron's staying, I think Larry Nance is going to be an integral part of this team moving forward.
Well, I mean, listen, the give and go with Larry Nance is always great. The alley-oop is always there with Larry Nance. And here's the thing. He's also motivated because it's his dad's team. It's his hometown team. It's his dad's basketball team.
And he's wearing dad's number.
He's wearing dad's number.
Which is still hanging in the rafters.
Yeah, I think that whole thing is special, and there's a story there. And you absolutely build around Larry Nance Jr. as long as his head stays in it. And I'm still not ready to give up on – George Hill's a little bit older. I'm not ready to give up on him, but, man, ball out, play.
See, I always thought Hill was more of just a guy to get us through the year. I was hoping Clarkson would prove to be better. I think they need to definitely address the point guard situation. But I was interested. I don't know if you guys watched the halftime or pregame at all. But LeBron basically saying he made phone calls saying he didn't want Kyrie traded. He didn't want that deal to go through. And they still pushed it through. Which this is just adding to my case of LeBron's gone. Because I feel like they do everything he doesn't want them to do. They didn't want him to fire the GM. He wanted them to take care of the GM. They let him go. Like I feel like they're doing the opposite of what LeBron wants, and that's what makes me concerned that he might not hang around.
Well, what I hear though is that all these moves that Altman made when he made all these trades, LeBron absolutely loved. Like he was excited. Like they finally are making a ridiculous amount of moves to make this team younger.
Yeah, no, and I think they were good moves. I just think, we'll see. I think why would you if you know, because Kyrie's under contract anyways, right? 2 years. If you know, right. LeBron, your guy, he is the man in Cleveland for eternity. Even when he's not a Cavalier, he'll be the man in Cleveland. If he calls you and says, listen, don't do this. Just let him, like Kyrie, go through his emotions and get over it, and we're going to run next year. You can't do the trade. Especially because it ended up paying zero dividends because everyone you traded for is basically gone.
Yeah.
I wish the Brooklyn pick would have came out to be a little bit higher.
Yeah. That's one. Actually, you know what I'd like to see them do with that pick? I'd like them to find a way to package it and move up to get the guy from Oklahoma that LeBron loves.
Oh,
I can't remember. I'm terrible with college names, but I can't. but the guy's a beast.
Yeah, I know
And-
you're talking about.
He's the consensus number one, right?
Yeah, I think they're saying one or two. There's a couple guys there, but I would love to see them make a run at a guy like to keep LeBron happy and let them know. But that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to find a way to do this offseason before LeBron gets his mind made up. They're going to have to come to him with like we have a deal for Kawhi on the table, but we're not going to make it unless because here's the deal. I think LeBron's a good guy. I think if he says I'm staying, I'm going to stay because he doesn't have to sign because he's got the Larry Bird. They have the Larry Bird rule, so they could sign another max player, and then LeBron could just come sign later, and they'll just pay a little bit of luxury tax. But to me, I think that they're going to have to do something huge. Trae Young again, Eric coming through. Man, this guy might be having his best podcast show up on this show ever. So I actually have to say thank you. Yeah, Trae Young. Try to get Trae Young at 1. And but then you have to go get like a legit superstar. You have to bring something to the table because I just don't think you could keep this exact same roster and go, hey, how about signing up for another couple of years?
Hey, isn't DeMarcus Cousins going to be a free agent?
Yeah, he is, and I think that
Paul George as well.
I think the Pelicans prove that they don't need Cousins, even though I think that was kind of an awesome lineup having those two beasts. But
yeah, I think George is going to go to the Lakers.
I feel like that's signed, sealed, and delivered.
I don't know, man. He publicly has always said he wants to play with LeBron. And I can tell you right now that while Lamar Ball or LaMelo Ball or whatever the fuck his name is, as long as he's in LA, LeBron ain't going there.
Yeah, maybe. What about the Clippers, though?
It's Cleveland or Philly.
He doesn't have to go to the Lakers.
It's Cleveland or Philly.
He can go to the Clippers and set them up real nice because they got a lot of options.
Yeah, but all the TV contracts are still set up for the Lakers to be number one. And LeBron's not going to play for a number 2 team.
What's he care about the TV? LeBron could go to Nova Scotia and start his own team, and they would be the most watched team in the league.
Listen, he's not full of himself, but he's not going to go somewhere and be number 2.
He's like, I'm going to expand this team in Nova Scotia. Me and these 4 Eskimos are going to rock the court. And
listen,
it'd be
LeBron is staying, but if he leaves, it's to Philly.
Hey, well, did you see that Chris Paul's trying to get him to come to Houston?
Yeah.
Chris Paul's made some comments this past week trying to entice him to come to Houston.
You know the place for him to go? And I'm going to hate saying this because I have a hate for this team that I've had before I even lived here. I think if he wanted to be really wild, come to Salt Lake City. You talk about talent with Mitchell and Gobert. That team could be, and even Ingles at point guard, who is a really good 3-point shooter. And all he's got to do is go, here, LeBron, have the ball. Like, they wouldn't need much. That team would be disgusting really quick. And if you're going to go, like, I think Philly's a bad plan, just not because I don't think he'll fit, because I think LeBron fits anywhere LeBron wants to fit. I just don't see it. I think if he does leave Cleveland and he doesn't go to LA, I think Houston is probably a real player. I think San Antonio's a real player. But I would love for him just to stay in Cleveland so I don't have to buy another hat because I'm about to hat it out.
Listen, I don't see a situation where if LeBron is trying to people could say that LeBron doesn't care about his legacy all they want, but they're wrong. LeBron cares about his legacy. There's no way he's not going to get vilified like he did last time, but there's no way to preserve your legacy if you leave again.
I don't know, man.
You can't take his talent away from him. That's not what I'm talking about, but there'll be that asterisk next to him forever because he left. He got the hometown team, left, came back, and then left again.
But here's the thing: we are all, I think we're all Cavs fans, right? We're all LeBron fans, right? For sure.
Yeah, I'll say LeBron.
Because I am not, as I am tied to the Browns. I do not have that same emotional tie to the Cavs. I followed the Heat while he was in Miami. That's where I go. I want him to stay in Cleveland. I think it's good, but you can't blame him. Like, I could not be I was upset the last time he left because I kind of thought it was douchey. It makes sense now as I've matured and gotten older and understand why people do shit. But I would not be upset with him if he left now. He's got an owner who he hates, who I think doesn't respect him and doesn't do what you should do for your superstar. Not just LeBron, but every team's got that one guy, and I don't think they totally do what they should be doing on that level for him. And they've showed a history of kind of expecting him to carry a load with crap a lot of time on the other end. So as much as I would hate it, I don't think that I could be upset with him. And I think a lot of other fans are the same way, where you can't be upset if they're not willing to put in what he's putting in, and we all know that he's giving everything he's got. Then I can't be upset.
That's true.
You can't be upset if he leaves. Like
if LeBron leaves, they're going to burn his jerseys again.
Well, some idiot will, right? Because there's idiots
there's
like
gonna
that
be
everywhere.
a lot of idiots that are going to burn his jersey.
I think more people are prepared for it this time. I don't think it, I don't think it's going to happen like it did last time.
Oh no, he's not going to do the decision, and I definitely agree with that. But I still think if he leaves, it's going to be a domino effect. You're going to have a couple people, they're going to show him on the news, and then everyone's going to be burning their shit again because he left Cleveland. And everyone,
I think that's part of his decision, though, too. I think that's part of his decision because his wife has stated she wants to raise her children in Akron, where she was raised and where LeBron was raised.
Yeah.
And it's just going to make things difficult for her if he leaves again, because she wants to stay, but she can't if he does that again.
Yeah.
Being from Akron, who would say they want to raise their kids in Akron?
Listen, LeBron James's kids are not being raised in the same projects that he was.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
And
when you run the state,
yeah, I mean, I guess if I had LeBron's power, it'd be a little different. But just just in general, like the things you don't think you'll ever
$5 million mansion in Akron. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
he's the only guy I know that he had that mansion where he's at. There was a mansion on there first. He bought the property because the guy who owned that went kind of nutty. He buys the property, tears the house down, builds a big old LeBron-sized mansion, right? Comes back to Ohio and is like, this was pretty sweet, but now I'm pretty much a billionaire, so I'm going to tear this one down too and build an even more Goliath of a house. Like, I don't know.
So, I don't know. Here's the other thing, though, too, man. So Junior has been making the rounds in this AAU basketball tournament.
That kid's a pimp.
Yeah. And LeBron's big about being a good father, but LeBron Jr. actually played an AAU team from here in Cortland. And, dude, LeBron James was there. He sat on the sidelines. He wasn't a coach. He was there watching his son play ball. And I don't know, man. There's kids from Cortland now that could say that they got to play with LeBron James Jr. And LeBron James Jr. is going to play in the NBA. That's going to happen someday.
Yeah. He's already got scholarship offers to Duke and Kentucky.
Yeah, he's going to play but to see LeBron sitting there and being a dad and cheering on his son, and that whole thing, it's local, right? It's just, LeBron did that same tournament.
Yeah. The thing is,
there was speaking of his son, there was a meme on Facebook the other week. I can't remember if I tagged Matt in or not, but it had a picture of his son and wearing jersey number 4, I think it was, and it said that LeBron James Jr. isn't going to wear his dad's number because he doesn't want people knowing who he is. And then at the bottom, it's like, wear number 4, LeBron James Jr. And then it's like, hey, bro, do you know who his dad is?
No, you didn't tag me in that, but that is absolutely awesome. Here's the thing. I think we talked about this last week. I give LeBron a ton of credit because, and I know he always said, like, when he had his family, he actually wanted to be a real parent and be involved. But I give that dude a ton of credit because he is, like, if he's not in season or like actually away game or, somewhere he has to be, that dude's at every game. Like, he doesn't miss. So he always impresses me. I don't care what he does on the court. That guy is philanthropically, I don't even know if I said that right, but we're going to go with it. He has done so much.
He did.
Even when he left for Miami, he still did the bike ride in Akron. Like, he's never forgot where so I will always have nothing but respect for that guy. But what I would love to see, I think we talked about this last week for a second, I would love, because I know the one and done rule is going to get booted out of the NBA sooner than later. I would love to see LeBron hang around for another 5 years just so it can work out, because he can play with his son. And I don't care where his son ends up, because LeBron's LeBron. He can go wherever he wants every year. And he's just be like, I'm going to play for the league minimum to be on, I don't know, the Milwaukee Bucks. And then you got the James connection for a season, which I think would be absolutely amazing.
I actually did see a meme where it was a grown-up version of LeBron James Jr. with a gray-haired version of LeBron, and then a gray-haired version, like Uncle Drew. It was Kyrie dressed up as Uncle Drew, and it was the jersey said the LeBrons, but it was the Cavaliers colors, and it said the future of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
But that kid's gonna if he keeps progressing, which with LeBron James as your dad and that kind of work ethic, I don't see him not continuing, barring some freak situation. He's gonna be a legit player in the league himself. Like, he's already got ridiculous skills. Like, he's already kind of a man among boys when it comes to his just talent level.
And his size, he's bigger than everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you seen his dad?
Yeah, but have you seen his mom?
Well, yeah, but
she's short.
Yeah, but LeBron's got that power sperm, man. Like, those things just take over.
It's like that Tom Brady and Ted, right? Shit glows gold.
Ted 2. I almost forgot about that movie. Oh, you guys see any good movies this week, by the way? We're getting close to the hour. Did you guys see any good movies this week? I didn't go see anything.
I actually didn't go. I saw Solo last weekend, but I didn't go to anything this weekend.
I did see Gringo on iTunes. Not very impressed.
Is that
I watched Deadpool
the weed
2.
company?
What's that? Sorry. Kevin first. What'd you say, Kevin?
Is that the one where they got the weed company down in Mexico?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had a ton of potential. Failed aggressively. So, not a big fan.
That sucks.
Deadpool 2, you seen that last week? You said?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought it was hilarious.
That shit's amazing.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought the story kind of was not that great, but I don't go to Deadpool to get like a great story. I go to laugh, and I was definitely entertained.
Dude, Ryan Reynolds was the perfect dude to play Deadpool. I said that in the first one, and him in the sequel just confirms it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so freaking funny.
The post-credits one where he takes out when he takes himself out right in the Green Lantern script. Oh my gosh. I about lost it.
In the takeout scenes, he killed himself twice.
Well, yeah, because then he do it in the see, I didn't see Logan though, or whatever that other one is where he killed the other Deadpool.
It was Wolverine. Right?
Did he play that Deadpool? I was wondering that. I wasn't sure if he actually played that Deadpool. I know he learning all kinds of stuff. All right, do you guys have anything to bring to the table this week? Because we're coming up on an hour, and I've ran out of ideas. So
I don't know, man. I'm grinding. I'm grinding on this game as much as possible. That's really working and that.
Now, how is that affecting your personal life?
I might miss a podcast or two.
Gary,
no, I made it very obvious to my family that they come first, and
right after this
play
kill,
with the kids quite a bit too.
Right after this kill, guys, Daddy's gonna be there. I promise. Or what about your employees at work? Because you say you play it on your phone, so I can't imagine you're not like somewhere hiding at work, like.
No, it's complete. It is actually completely separate. The only time I play on my phone is when I'm having my morning cigarette.
I'll be winking. I'm gonna wink right now because I'm sure like you don't want someone to hear that you're playing at work. So okay.
No. Seriously, I don't have time, man. I walk like 7 miles a day. I don't have time.
You're better.
It's not like the good old days of Craftmate, brother.
Craftmate, man. That place. There's only that. Yeah, I definitely did some messed up stuff there.
Yeah, you did.
But you know the best place I ever worked? When Kraft made when I came back to Utah, I had this job at they made like laundry detergent. And literally my last day was my 90th day because I started at ATI.
Yeah. I tried to get in there.
This place was I seen my supervisor literally once a week. It was brilliant. Because he was too lazy, because there was like 8 different buildings, and he was too lazy to walk over to our building. So I knew he was always there on like Wednesday. He'd just check in and make sure we like didn't blow our end of the building up. And we would do like, and these guys taught me this. So it wasn't like I was thinking about it myself. But we would like, oh, guess what? Today's your day to be 4 hours late. I'll clock you in. We'd leave our badges in the drawer, and we would just clock each other in and out. Or, hey, you get to leave 4 hours early today. I'll clock you out. Like, I know it's terrible, and I'm probably going to get some karma coming back at me someday for it. But, we did not do anything at all. Like, we would chill all night because all we did was stick these shipping labels. That's all we did. Stick these shipping labels on boxes. It was the most ridiculous. One person could have done it. We had 2-3 people sometimes doing this job. One person could have done it and still probably sat on their rear end for 4.5, 5 hours. But they overstaffed this thing significantly. So we would just disappear for hours. Like, oh, hey, let's go to Denny's and hang out for a couple hours while we're on the clock. Because why not? Just, I'm a terrible human being. I'm not a good employee. So if any of my possible people wanting to hire me is watching this, I've changed. I'm a different man. So I did want to, Gary, you got football season coming up. I know you've kind of been doing some signups.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the defense is done. We're gonna run a 5-3 defense with these little guys. We're gonna focus on gap assignments. So pretty sure nobody's ever gonna score on us. I'm excited for that. But I'm about done with the offense, and I'm excited for that.
So when does your guys' season get rolling?
Practice starts July 9th.
So your
games will start towards the end of August.
So you're about ready to go.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Sweet. We got high school football coming in the next couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
I know Kevin's super excited about that.
I can't wait to see what the Bulldogs are going to do, man.
It'll be interesting. They lost their quarterback, so that's the big thing.
Yes, they did.
Did they lose him because he graduated or because he knocked up
and
his sophomore
They lost
girlfriend?
one of their receivers, I think, too. Maybe 2 of them.
No, they don't get me wrong. They definitely lost some talent, but Tony Krish is returning as running back, and that dude's legit.
I know.
Yeah, he was pretty. They had a good running game.
That Tony Krish I watch him play, and I'm like, mother effer.
Well, listen, he's getting ready to play for West Virginia. That's how good this dude is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm about to say I haven't even heard that.
So he's a mid-level talent.
Hey, watch it there.
Listen, he's a white running back. West Virginia is shooting for the sky.
Got that right.
Oh man.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, and with football high school coming up soon, it's gonna be a sad year, but a good year at the same time because this might be the last time that Champion and Lakeview play each other for a very long time.
Yeah. Yep.
All because of the new conference and everything, which I understand. Champion, obviously, they've lost. After this season, it'll be 18 years in a row they've lost to Lakeview. So, the rivalry, it's not obviously what it used to be.
It's Brown Steelers at this point. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. And the bad thing is there's been a handful of times throughout those long history of losses where a Champion actually had chances and should have won the game, but just bad coaching. But it was just, it's I understand it, but it's one of those I hope give it a couple years. But that's the bad thing because that's how it always works out. Those couple years, they're not going to play. Champion will actually have a legit team and have a chance.
They have a really talented quarterback.
Who?
Champion does. And I can't think of his name, but I watched the Lakeview Champion game. If that kid had a halfway decent offensive line and one more wide receiver, the kid is talented. He can make every throw on the field.
Talking about this year?
He played last year and he was a junior. He's going to play this year.
Well, you give him more credit than I do.
Dude, he was on his back half the game. It's not his fault.
He was. But we just don't. And that's the thing. They don't have the size. Because when we were in school, because you were around the same age as I am. So, we always had that big line, and it was that smash mouth. We ran the ball. We threw if we had to because we had no other choice because we always had bad quarterbacks. Until my senior year, we had a good quarterback. But, it's just they got all the small kids, and they try to run all the weird stuff. I don't know. It's just – and they got a new coach again this year. So that's a whole nother, everything's going to change again. Like last year was the first year that I actually skipped the champion Lakeview game because I haven't missed one. I always go to it because that's the rivalry game. And it's like, I know what's going to happen, but I still go anyways. But this year I was like, I can't do it to myself because we just suck so bad. And I went and saw Western Reserve McDonald. So I was like, I actually finally got to see what a real rivalry looks like. Because I mean, that game, that was one of the best games I saw last season. It was a heck of a game. And then, champion lost by the first quarter. Well, I mean, they lost when the ball got kicked off. But so it's like I didn't miss much in that game. But if you're giving the quarterback some credit, hey, more power to you because I saw him like 4 times and I was like, our whole team sucks. Retarded. I was like, just punt the ball. I mean, you're going to get to the same situation. It was so bad. And I'm actually one of these days.
The rivalry to watch is going to be Lakeview Poland for a long time.
That Poland team is ridiculous.
It all depends on how well, because I know Lakeview can reload pretty good every year, but Poland's like a different type of team. So, I mean, it could definitely be, but I mean, it could also just end up being like the Hubbard-Poland rivalry. LJ Smith was there, or LJ Scott was there, and that was a heck of a game to see for those 3 years. And then he left, and Poland's just back to whooping that ass. So it's like, it'd be nice to see, because I think the Lakeview-Girard has a better chance of being a bigger rivalry.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, there's definitely, with that division, there's a lot of interesting games that could end up coming out of it. But the crazy one, I think the weirdest team to join it is South Range. Like, I understand it. You want to get in a conference.
South Range is ridiculous.
I think South Range is too small of a school to be in that group.
I agree. I think they need to add students, maybe bring in some illegals. I don't know.
Well, that's like hillbilly country, so there ain't going to be illegals on that team.
Oh, there's illegals everywhere if you're searching for them. Speaking of illegals.
Somebody did not like that they didn't have the spotlight on him for like 5 solid minutes. He just had an Eric moment.
In all fairness, this is my pocket. No.
Hey, when you were here, I used to take you to some really good high school games. So I don't even want to hear.
We had fun. Like, we went to the high school game at the stadium, that tournament or whatever.
We go up to Cleveland, and they had a doubleheader that year. It was Cleveland Glenville taking on Menor, I think, or Strongsville. One of those, but Glenville played, and then Harding played St. Ed's. And St. Ed's was the #1 ranked team in the state that year. And Harding pulled off the biggest freaking upset of the season and beat them. But that was the second game, and Matt goes up there. I can't remember if he wore a long sleeve or a short sleeve shirt.
Oh, short sleeve for sure.
In Cleveland on the lake, and we were there all day. So needless to say, Matt got cold. So I think Miranda took a blanket, so she gave it to Matt. As soon as he got the blanket, he fell asleep. He said, and like we're just watching the game, and it's like, what is that noise? It's like, oh, Matt's snoring. He's got a blanket over his head. He's all slouched out.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible. I'm terrible for falling asleep when I get bored. One time I went on this date with this girl, and let me see if my wife's watching. No, no, but we went on this date, and we went to. I know I've told the story before, so I'll make it quick. But we went to. She had to do some assignment where she had to like Swan Lake or something, and she had to like write about it, go to it, watch it, write about it. And I still hadn't gotten to the base I wanted to get to in this relationship. I was still basically hitting singles and doubles. I was really shooting for a triple, or maybe even a home run. I don't know. I was like dressed to the nines. I was ready to go this day. And we get to Swan Lake, and I had been up all day long, and 10 minutes in, I'm out. And I literally slept through the whole thing. And she broke up with me before we even got back to the car. So
that's funny.
So falling asleep has been my epic fail. Anyways, if you guys don't have anything else, I'm gonna close this out for this week.
One quick thing.
One quick thing. Let's do it.
Make me think, since we were talking about high school football. What are we gonna do about the show? Because I'll be at a football game every Friday night.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. How long do we got before that season starts?
End of August.
Oh, we got plenty of time. We'll figure it out.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's something to definitely kick around. Turns out I have open availability because I don't have a life besides school. So I study in front of I really don't leave the front of this computer. I'm either studying for school or podcasting with you guys or in a Twitter fight with Eric.
I believe it, but I like me and Gary, we got shit we got to do.
Yeah, I know. I just don't ghost me like some people. Just don't ghost me.
Don't fucking do
It
it.
hurts my feelings.
Don't you fucking do it.
I'm just saying, Gary. My feelings get hurt when people don't even text me and go, "I hate fat people, so I'm not going to be on the show this week." Like I would have understood.
Listen, when I got the invitation, I was okay. All right. This is the truth. This is the truth. When I got the invitation, I was already 6 beers in.
And I had thought that because I was like
sitting in front of a bonfire.
I was like, Gary's at least cool enough to like be like, because you've done it in the past. Like, I'm not gonna make it. I got, signing up football practices, getting an anal exam, whatever it is. You're at least cool enough to like let me know
Totally
I'm not gonna
worth
make it. I just noticed, by the way, it's like you're wearing a green screen. We could put like a logo on your shirt. That'd be awesome. Anyways, so I honestly, part of me did think when you didn't do anything, because I hate being the guy that texts and goes, "What's up?" Because I feel like it's a nuisance. Like, I'm just going to send out the invite and hope that you show up. But yeah, so part of me was like, yeah, maybe he just got hammered. That's totally cool. It happens.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh man, oh gosh, I'll tell you this when we get off. I'm going to end the show and then I got to tell you guys a great story. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the live feed. You guys have a great week. Again, watch us on YouTube, Facebook. As you notice, I've got some messages about it. Tonight, the show will not go up on iTunes. I'm trying to figure out the best day for that to happen. So if you two have a suggestion, but I have noticed that if we actually release it on iTunes a couple of days afterwards, we actually get more downloads. So again, a little more behind the scenes reasoning for why I do bad podcasting. It does. It ups our numbers, and I'm a numbers guy. So we're going to start releasing these like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think I released this one Thursday. Didn't see the jump I was expecting. So probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. These will, if you didn't watch us live, it didn't be part of the show, but you do listen to it. Like, we've got a pretty good solid following. That's when it'll be coming out. We're starting a show on Sundays, kind of coming back to that with Kim going back to work. Unfortunately, she won't be there, but it's going to be kind of like, I have a great idea. I think I'm going to even have a different name for it. I gave Chris, who's going to be starting his old podcast, the former co-host of Eric's podcast, a great name. And I think The Hard Truth is such a great podcast name, and it's not taken yet. And I also did already reserve the URL for it, or the web domain. I think it's a great podcast, and that one's going to be more just talking about politics, sexual, like, crazy stuff that's going on in the world, just whatever's going on, whatever pops up in the news. And we're still looking for a co-host for that. And what I'm probably going to do for that is try a few people out, bring a couple people on Sundays, and just work it out. But I need to do more than one podcast a week because I have a great deal of passion about this stuff. And even if no one listens, it's good for me. So, and I'm a selfish asshole. So
it's cathartic.
Yeah, it's extremely cathartic. Cathartic.
Words are hard.
Wow. You're totally getting fired. Oh, wait. We can't go yet. I did think of one last thing because you just totally got that in my head. Do you guys, and this is not sports related, but the Roseanne thing has been on my mind all week. Not that I care about Roseanne, but do you think we're kind of past the point of firing everybody for everything? Like,
that's so stupid. It's dumb.
That they fired her, or what she said? Because I thought
that we're firing everybody for everything. It's so stupid.
No, I totally agree. No, I totally. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, people. We know who Roseanne Barr is. We knew who she was in the 80s.
That's my whole thing.
I'm going to go full Denny Green here, and I'm going to be like, she is who we thought she was, and we let her off the hook.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing is I don't think what she said was right, but all these innocent people now don't have jobs, and I do have a problem with that. Right?
Absolutely.
And that's, you said it, like, you knew what you were getting when you decided to bring her back, when you decided to bring that show back. So I think that, like, and I think, honestly, in a few weeks, most people, by the time that next season would have rolled around, how many of us would have actually, it might have came up for 5 minutes, but it's not something that was going to be long lasting.
No.
I'm just sick of.
She's been notorious for popping a couple Ambien, drinking a couple beers, and popping off at the mouth. The only difference is now she's got her phone in front of her where she could do it out in public. That's the only difference.
Yeah, and that's it. I'm just sick of everybody getting fired. There is some people who should be. Harvey Weinstein should have been fired. There are things that people should be fired for on the most egregious levels. But if we're going to start firing people because we don't agree with their opinion, even if it is an effed up opinion, man, our country is even more trouble than I thought.
Well,
So
here's
Docker pay.
Yeah. Here's the bad thing for that definitely worked against Roseanne, in my opinion, is her show is on ABC. ABC's Disney, they own ESPN, all that. You've clearly been able to see it's a highly Democrat station. She was making comments involving Obama. And don't get me wrong, it was racist as hell. But she was going, and the comments involved Obama. And those guys all have a hard-on for Obama. So, of course, they're not going to keep her. I mean, it goes against their whole station. Because if you look at any of their other shows, like The View, they've said some pretty nasty stuff about Donald Trump, and they're all still there. So it's like clear cut as day. It's definitely a double standard. But she should have known. It's like you got lucky because you're a Trump supporter. Your show had Trump stuff in it, and she supported Trump. So, I mean, they let you get that far because, for Christ's sakes, they took off Last Man Standing because he had a lot of Republican stuff.
But he's coming back
on Fox. But that's the thing. And Fox owned them in the first place. And that was the other thing. ABC doesn't own Roseanne either. And so that's another reason why I think it was a lot easier for them to cut ties with Roseanne.
Oh, there'll be a season 2 of Roseanne. It's just going to air on like Netflix or something like that.
See, I'm not even sure about that because Hulu dropped the Roseanne reruns, and there was another station that was running reruns, and they dropped it too. So everyone's they get butthurt about the craziest. Or don't get me wrong, it was
stupid.
Racist, but I mean, they get so.
Well,
this is a lady who posted a picture.
I'm not defending. Yeah, I'm not defending her comments or what she said.
Yeah,
it's just, man. I've said some fucked up shit, and if my supervisor found out about it, or my boss found out about it, I mean, he might laugh, but I'm not going to lose my job over it.
Yeah,
I'm just not.
You might get reprimanded, and I would have been okay. I'm okay with reprimanded.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with it because I struggle with this whole what you do in your own time and getting punished for it at work. But I get that's the world we live in. So maybe you get reprimanded, and I'll survive with that. But we're not looking into. I was talking to my mother-in-law about this a few nights ago at dinner. I think we're getting to this place we're not paying attention, or we're not really caring about these cameramen, or even these extras that get paid a little bit of cash, how we're affecting their lives because we don't like what someone said. I get it. And what her words say were racist, and I'm not down with that. But A, you knew what you were getting. B, why I think James said it perfect on Facebook, actually. Snowflakes. We're in this snowflake world now, and everything you say that's anywhere a little bit controversy, we're canceling all your shows, we're not playing your movies anymore. What does that do for us as a society? Nothing, because those people end up finding jobs somewhere else, or they're so rich, Roseanne doesn't need that money, dude. They're so rich, it doesn't really affect them. It affects everyone else, all the little people.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm kind of over it, I guess. And I know, I just, not to start a whole rant, you said that thing and it made me think about that. And it's really been frustrating me this week because I hate that these people, all these innocent people are kind of the collateral damage.
Right. So to your point, Matt, right? So if I say something ridiculous, and let's just pretend I get fired for it, because, I won't. But if I did, my crew's not losing their job.
Yeah.
Nobody else loses their job. So, you know what? Maybe you don't have a Roseanne without Roseanne, but maybe you do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think you could have easily wrote her off of that show, because I was listening to Rogan's podcast.
I watched it because of Goodman anyway.
Whoever, I can't think of what her name is, but whoever plays Darlene, she was the one who got the whole thing rolling about getting the show starting back up and all that stuff. It wasn't even Roseanne who had the idea to get it started back up. So I think you could have easily, and definitely the way the season went, because majority of the show was based on Darlene. She was the main focus of the show. So I think you definitely, the way the season ended, you could definitely killed off Roseanne and done it with everybody else.
You wouldn't even had to have killed her off. You could have just moved her to Florida. You know what I mean? You could have
Yeah.
left the window open for her
And
to
that's-
make a guest appearance down the road.
And maybe that's what you do. You write them off. But on like these smaller ones where it's not so like directly racist, they just simply have very different opinions, right? Because I think you could say something that could be controversial and not legitimately be racist, and we're still seeing people lose those jobs. Like, how about we all just remember that as much as it sucks sometimes and hurts people sometimes, we do have a freedom of speech, and we do have a right to have our opinion, and it doesn't necessarily have to align with our employer's opinion. I just think we need some work to there, and I could go on this all night, so I don't want to hold you guys up, but yeah. So again, we're out. Follow us, look for us to be posted. You guys, thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys showing up on time. Like, literally, as soon as I hit the go button, well, Kevin's always late, so I just assume that's going to happen. But literally, as soon as I sent the invite, as soon as I popped it up, all of a sudden it's like, oh, Coach is here. What? Anyways, everybody out there, have a good night. Have a good week. We will see you. I'll see you Sunday probably, and we'll definitely see thles guys next week. Les Gary's 6 deep at a bonfire. Take it easy, guys.